should not arise at this stage. And therefore, the committee recommended the following, Mr. Speaker. First, the National Treasury should conduct periodic sensitization and capacity building for all accounting officers, finance staff, and procurement officers across government on their responsibilities during the audit cycle and adherence to international public sector accounting standards. Number two, the relevant professional bodies like ISPAC and others should enforce compliance to standards and met out sanctions to those officers found to be willfully failing to discharge their functions. The second issue that is also cross-cutting is the late submission of supporting documentation. Further to the above, Mr. Speaker, the committee observed that some accounting officers failed to submit supportive documentation to the Auditor General on time. That is during the audit cycle. And Mr. Speaker, the audit cycle is very simple. First, the auditors report to the accounting entity or to the state agency. There is what we call entry meeting, where they hold meetings with the management. After that, on average, you'll find them taking 2 weeks, 3 weeks, even a month, engaging and asking accounting staff to provide documentation. After that, then a management letter is issued to the management and for their response, and they're supposed to respond. Once that is done, again, a window is there of a draft report, which again becomes ready and given to the management. Before now the final report, you find after all that process, still documentation is not provided to the Auditor General as required under Section 68 of the Public Finance Management Act and the various provisions of the Public Audit Act. This invariably led to the committee discussing matters that should ordinarily not feature in the final report, some as mundane as accounts not balancing, appearing before us to answer why accounts are not balancing. A whole permanent principal secretary coming to appear before us to answer as to why the accounts could not balance. The committee observed that accounts and finance staff in the various state agencies did not maintain financial statement in real time and waited for the end of the financial year to commence reconciliations. The committee therefore is recommending the following. One, that accounting officers henceforth comply with Section 68(2)(k) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 by providing supportive documentation on time. The committee in subsequent audits will prescribe punitive measures to those accounting officers that fail to adhere to requirements of the law in this regard. Further, Mr. Speaker, the committee will not entertain continuous engagement between officers of the Auditor General and accounting officers beyond the time period prescribed by law. All queries carried to the report of the Auditor General will be considered as such and attract requisite recommendations as is. Mr. Speaker, you still find that when we are holding our meetings, the accounting officers are still engaging the Office of the Auditor General in a bid to clear the audit queries. It is irregular, it is immoral, and my committee has taken a decision that from 2022-2023 financial year, we will not entertain that. Three,